Told the plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. Told the plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I'm in Cali every week. I go hard. Rowan said he got sour, need that whole yard. I'm chasing turkey bag. I'm chasing gold yard.
You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/NewHavenIndependent or go to your Facebook page and look us up. So, sorry we're late today. It's been a very long weekend for all of us who are in the cannabis industry who've been traveling around. We had the big Freedom Rally this weekend. We had a convention in Springfield. And I know, Kebra, you were at another convention, a caucus, actually, in Washington, D.C., right?
Yes.
Since last Wednesday, since we got off the air, right?
Yes.
So you've been a traveling lady. I know you're trying to share the thing right now.
Traveling fool.
But I would love to hear about some of your experiences, especially down in D.C.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. I know we were in Boston this weekend, but they had another K2 incident.
In New Haven?
In D.C.
In D.C.? I know I didn't hear about
27 people.
27 people.
K2 happened this weekend down in Washington, D.C. Same type of deal. People just started dropping like flies. They haven't really found out where it came from yet, but it's a similar thing to what we experienced here in New Haven.
Wow, no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I just read about it this morning. I know it wasn't on our list of stuff we're going to talk about today, but I just was reading about it this morning that in Washington, D.C., they had a K2 happen this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
yeah, so this week was busy, crazy. So I didn't leave on Wednesday. I actually left on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Because of we were worried about the weather, how it was going to affect the conference, and a lot of things were canceled. So most of the InfraMM Minorities for Medical Marijuana events were canceled, but they had a really good conference. Thursday, I was an exhibitor at the Black Experience in Cannabis at the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus.
Nice.
And we had some really informative panels, some great people in cannabis, from the DPA to Dr. Shonda Macias, to some individual entrepreneurs, Dashida Dawson. Thank you. I get to pick one. Okay. And so it was really great and informative, and it was the first time at the Congressional Black Caucus that they even had a conversation about cannabis. So they had like two or three panels during the time. So then I figured, since I had to be in Springfield Saturday morning, that I would just party all night Friday until it was time to get on the road. That really didn't work too well for me.
How were you feeling by the time you got to Springfield,
Oh, my
Kebra?
God. By the time I got to Springfield, I felt like a zombie. But
you looked amazing, though.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
you
Yes,
did look
thank
great.
you.
We saw your Facebook
Thank you,
stuff.
thank you. But Springfield was pretty good. That cannabis show, they had a nice setup, nice plan. It just was bad timing with it being at the same time as the Freedom Rally.
Yeah.
But so we were, believe it or not, like the headliners and the opening panel, and it was on the medicine and science of cannabis. And we had Brian Ascenter, we had Dr. Caroline Hartridge, we had Margot Bruno, and I was the moderator of that panel. And that was really good. We had, there weren't really too many people there walking the floor, but people were there for the panels.
Right.
So my panel was pretty packed, and it went really well. And then right after that panel was done, I was on a panel with Nelson Guerrera, Scott B. Cecil, Wendy Robbins, and we talked about equity and access in the cannabis industry, and really kind of focused in on what we needed to do to engage more people of color, more women, to find financing for minorities who have difficulty finding. I mean, people in general are having difficulty
money's not
obtaining
easy to come
capital
by.
in the cannabis industry. But you'd be more likely to get money before me in some cases.
No, my credit. But
we ain't talking about credit.
No, she's right. She's 100% right. As silly as it is, because
yes, I understand that fact, but you have to also understand that my economic level, no matter what race.
No, but it's not about economic level. That's the thing. Like
a lot of times,
as a white male, are afforded certain privileges that would never be. I'm not saying never, because
I
I
understand it would open the door, but let me just tell you something. Once I got in the door and they started reading, they throw me right out. So
at least
that's just me,
Joe.
But I understand what you're saying in general.
You get it 100% because we're on those we're on the trenches
general,
together.
Yes.
All of us, we're on the trenches together.
Yeah, because it's definitely not like
I grew up like this. I get it.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a competition or that's not the right word, competition or comparison. You know, but I mean, just history has proven that if it was out of me and you getting arrested,
the three of
it
us
would be you.
Right.
It would be me.
And it's just no, not in the three of us scenario getting arrested.
Me and you
All right.
getting arrested.
Oh yeah.
Me and
Joe.
a Spanish guy in the mix, and he's the first guy getting locked up.
Maybe.
I don't know. Let's not have it because
It's funny. We're all happy having fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
it was a great weekend.
Equity, and then the Freedom Rally. I mean, I know you all are gonna go through your weekends too, but the Freedom Rally is just like to me an amazing event. Like you just walk around and everybody, it just feels like
everybody,
like
what
the Garden of the Eden was supposed to be.
Yes, like a giant farmer's market. Like you should have this every weekend.
Yes,
but
I mean, like
every weekend. That's huge for every weekend.
But when I think about
different states, how about
that? Eden or Utopia, it would be something like that with
100%.
food and weed,
tons of food, there was
and
people,
a lot of entertainment,
people.
Yep.
I mean, and then we spoke at the Education Village, and I had a really great panel at the Education Village. It was Jen Grew, Laura of Muffins Apothecary, Laura Boehner of The Healing Rose, and oh my God, her name keeps escaping me, but she's a massage therapist that works with The Healing Rose a lot.
Okay,
I know that. Yeah, she works magic, man.
Yeah, it's her name.
And that was about like entrepreneurs and how to keep your sanity.
Basically, the mental health and the cannapreneur. And we literally, it was like therapeutic. Like we were just like
doing this therapy session to each other.
I have therapy. It was really kind of cool.
Good.
We passed the joint the entire panel, so it was really cool. We're in mass, it's legal. We could do that.
That's right.
And then that evening, so last evening, I actually was here. Use that. Last evening, New England Patriot, former New England Patriot, Eric Martin hosted the after party.
Oh, nice.
And they had like panel discussions. So we were on late. It was probably about 9-10 o'clock by the time.
He's a Freemason.
He's a Freemason.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not supposed to.
But when I tell you that he was super,
we got to meet the guy.
Like
he's
super
a great
duper
guy.
cool.
Yeah.
Like smiling, very welcoming, was engaging with all of us while we were there. And that panel was pretty cool. I had who was I on the panel with? Devin Solueski, I'm probably gonna say her name wrong.
Yeah.
From Maine, who does consulting. This guy Pierce, who I had never met, from Alaska,
wow,
who does transportation. Like he covers all of Alaska. He said he puts about a lot of miles out of his car.
I'll bet that's
every
a big
day
state.
Doing delivery. He's like the only person doing that.
And
like,
they're probably
killing it.
That's great.
They're open. Alaska is open. Like,
they don't care up there.
There's
There's hardly any cops to enforce anything.
What they care about is the freedom and liberties of Alaskan citizens. Because in Alaska, they really do look at it as that final frontier. And now cannabis has just helped them because they have an indoor crop now that they can actually share. It creates their own little farmers markets within their own communities because they don't have access to mainland supplies or have
they're
the
their
luxury.
own,
exactly.
They're a state, but they're kind of their own entity,
Yeah.
like sort of Hawaii
In
is too.
Europe,
And
they'd be
because
their
there's
own
so much
country.
Yeah.
open space
Yes.
there, like
Yeah.
policing them, I'm sure would be
Difficult.
an issue.
And then
Neighbors
what
are
do
whatever.
they-
like
Yeah.
5
Yeah,
miles away
Look,
from
yeah,
each other.
exactly.
Let me
Like,
let's
why
put
would
it
they
this
even
way.
waste the time?
What else you got to do up there?
Exactly.
I mean, they're not
Smoke
going to
weed.
bother them.
Yeah.
They let them. They
No.
drink up there too. They do a lot of. Even because
We
look,
had a, yeah.
I heard it's like 6 months daylight.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah,
It's rough.
he said. Yeah,
Let 'em
he was
smoke
like, "It's
weed.
time to."
They
yeah,
must
need it,
exactly,
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and Pierce was also a veteran, and was doing some things with veteran services. And then there was one. So Ellen Brown, who we're gonna have on
She's
the
going
phone,
to call us in a
she
little while.
was the moderator for the evening, but she also we also were on with one of the founders of C3RN.
Yep.
Is that
Sure,
Dr.
yeah, yeah.
Marion McNabb's
yep.
company? Yeah, so he talked a little bit about research, but that was a fun panel too. And we just I had a great weekend, and
Yeah.
I got home early this morning, tried to catch a couple of Z's, but
Doesn't
Yeah.
always work. We can catch them after the show.
yeah.
How about you, Uncle Lou? I know I saw you
Oh.
at the Freedom Rally. I missed you, Kebra. I was
Yeah.
ended up in Springfield on Sunday.
Oh yes.
I did both. I had to
Yes.
do double duty too. I took
Yes.
the table on Sunday, and I found the same thing you did. It was very interesting. The panels were great, but there just wasn't a big giant attendance. And I
Mhm.
think, like you said, it's because they scheduled it. Not only that, you got the Big E in Springfield. That's
Yeah,
like
there's a lot going
everybody
on.
loves
Yeah, there
it.
was
And
a lot going
Wormtown
on.
was
It
right up in
was-
Greenfield.
Yeah, that weekend was a rough weekend for attendance and everything other than the Boston Freedom Rally.
That was great.
But I have to say, that type of event, if you were fortunate enough as a business to go, you could have reaped benefits of so many different
Yeah.
different angles. But
Ellen Brown is on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ellen?
and she just gave us a correction. It was Pearson Crosby. I
If you were
think.
fortunate enough as a business,
Well, she's
to
right
go,
here, so she
you
can
could
give
have
us a
reaped
correction.
Yeah.
What happened to
benefits of
Facebook?
so many
Oh, we got to
different,
notice. Something
different
bad.
angles. But
We did. Oh, we're banned.
Ellen
No.
Brown
is on the
Yeah.
Ellen,
She
are you
just
here?
Gave us a correction. It
sounds
was
like we got
Pearson
good
Crosby.
back and forth.
Oh, yeah, we got
Well,
she's
crosstalk
right here,
here.
so she can give us a correction.
Yeah.
What happened to
So
Facebook?
many
Oh, we got to
different,
notice.
some
Ellen, are you
bad
here?
angles, but,
We did. Oh, we're banned. Ellen
no.
Brown is on the phone.
Yeah.
Ellen,
She
are you
just
here?
Gave us a correction. It
sounds
was
like we got
Pearson
good
Crosby.
back and forth.
Hey, we're. Oh, yeah, we got. Well, she's right here, so she can give us a correction.
Yeah.
What happened to Facebook?
Yep.
All right, we back.
Thank you, Harry.
I was having deja vu. I really felt like there was some glitch in the matrix or something. Now, is Ellen on the phone or did we lose her? Ellen? We lost her.
All right.
Are
so-
we still on the air?
Yeah. Hey, we're going back. So,
All right.
I was Yep.
Oh,
she's here.
Ellen, are you here now? I can't hear her. I hear nothing.
I hear nothing. Nothing.
All right, you guys talk while
Whoa,
we're waiting.
okay. Go ahead. Yeah, go.
I was at the rally. We had a nice booth, which we welcomed some visiting brands, puff cards, based out of New York.
I saw they were so cool. I forgot to pick one up.
Chelsea and Laura, they're awesome ladies. They came up from New York and New Jersey, and they have a greeting card service that you can purchase the greeting card, and inside is a little dude
It's
too.
really dope.
So you can kind of put whatever you want in there if you want to. We partnered them with CBD flower joints that we had, CBD pre-rolled joints that we had at the Present Natural section of the booth.
And I see you paired up. Put them right in there for
Right.
them. Load it up.
Yep, with a CBD pre-rolled. Then on top of that, we did the rec book as well. So we had the rec book, Present Naturals, and Puff Cards as a brand, as a team there at the Freedom Rally. So we got to spread some information about CBD. We got to talk a little bit about everything that goes on. Took a couple moments to walk around and see some of our friends all over the place. I brought in some treats for you guys.
saw
They're
that.
CBD plus.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
The phone call in here?
All
Ellen?
right. Ellen, is Ellen here?
Ellen? I still can't hear her.
So I picked up some nice treats from
Should we
the
call her?
Boston Freedom
Will that be
Rally.
Well, we
helpful?
can't call her from our phone.
No, I'm gonna give him the number.
Here we go.
Ellen? I don't even see us on Facebook.
Oh man, Harry.
All right,
Uh-oh.
keep talking till Ellen. Whenever you get on, just start talking.
Yeah. So we really enjoyed ourselves. We got to see many different angles. We got to prove some theories that we were hoping as a company. People received the
Would
CBD
respond well to, yeah.
Received very well to a lot of the market research that we put out there. Every year and every event, you're able to collect more data for yourself. So those data points are super important when you're trying to create dogs and stars of your product lines.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to get out there and touch the flesh, one might say, you know, shaking hands.
Kiss babies, shake
Kissing
hands, right?
babies, shaking hands, kind of making sure that as a company, you know what's going on with your different demographics. So Ashley flew from the West Coast, as we talked about last show.
He was on last week, yeah.
So that kind of makes it.
It was nice to see him.
It was great to see him as well.
Ellen, are you on?
I'm here.
Hey, there's Ellen.
Yeah.
So, Alan, how are you? I don't know. We had some
that air.
technical difficulties.
It's
here.
all right. Harry the Brave has
fixed it up for us.
He's awesome.
He took care of us. And so, how are you, Ellen? We were just speaking of our experiences this weekend at the Freedom Rally, and I know I saw you, and I'm sure all three of us probably saw you at different times.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wanted to say hello and see how you're doing. What's going on?
Update us in the cannabis
Hey,
world.
Joe. How are you? It's so nice to see you. And hi, Kebra. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Recovering. How about you?
Good. Same thing. I'm sorry if my voice is a little hoarse. I spent all day, you know, at the rally cheering everybody on. There were fantastic speakers, live music, education all day at the education villages. So it was fantastic. I got a lot out of it, made a lot of really great connections. I learned a lot of new information, and I got to spend time with friends. So it was a perfect weekend.
Yeah, it's always
Nice.
one of my favorite weekends of the year, Freedom Rally weekend. It is very fun. So I wanted to just touch space with you and let the people in Connecticut know that they're going to have the privilege next week of Miss Ellen Brown actually visiting our fair state and bringing her knowledge down to the residents of Connecticut, the people of Connecticut, because we are starved for knowledge down here.
Yeah.
We certainly don't have much going on, and we wanted to, you know, make something going on. So we wanted to bring you in for a special appearance down here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Just tell the people what you're going to be talking about, what you're going to be teaching, and what they can expect to get out of your talk next week on commercial cultivation in the cannabis industry.
And wait, maybe Ellen, you could tell us like what you've been doing first, like, and what's brought you here to be able to teach these classes too.
Well, thank you. So for that, I've been in the cannabis industry for the better part of a decade. I started back in 2010. I moved out to Humboldt County, and then I moved eventually to Redding, California, and I started working at a dispensary. I started as a trimmer, an entry-level job, and then throughout the year I worked my way up to being a assistant cultivator and then the lead cultivator of a 3,000 square foot facility. After 2012, I moved on back home. I voted yes on 4 for our medical marijuana program, and what I wanted to do was be able to come back home and then use the knowledge that I got out in California and impart it here in Massachusetts. And actually not 2014, 2012. So, yeah, being able to teach and educate people how to get the most out of any square footage. It doesn't matter if it's a 4x4 space or if it's a 3,000 square foot facility, talking about, you know, how to grow vertically, how to get the most out of your genetics, knowing about the different techniques of cultivation, talking about things like super cropping, low stress training, fimming. So we're going to go into into every single thing about that, and then also what does it take to actually start a cultivation facility. So talking about things like supplies, for example, creating SOPs, and then thinking about your perpetual harvest because you want to be able to continue to produce these great products. In Connecticut, I love to be able to teach home cultivation classes, but unfortunately in the state of Connecticut, even with your medical marijuana program, you don't allow for home cultivation, which is something, you know, through activism and advocacy, hopefully we will be able to change. So for right now, it's large scale classes. So people in the state of Connecticut, if they want to get into the medical marijuana market and possibly work in a dispensary, they'll be able to hopefully take this information and then make it transferable to their job application.
Right, right. And Ellen, I want to just thank you for taking the time to come down to Connecticut. And I know you and I work together at NIC, at the Northeastern Institute of Cannabis. So you've been teaching for a long time, and
She taught me.
she taught me a lot. I wanted the people to just kind of know that what the techniques you're teaching can be applied to kind of any size space, but what you're going to be focusing on is the commercial applications of growing so people can actually look for work.
Exactly. So this class is going to be really tailored to the Connecticut market, especially considering the fact that, that there is that barrier to entry where you can't say, oh, I've had a home grow in that, I have my home cultivation here in Connecticut. You have to go, all right, I have this education and I'd like to make it applicable. So we really just want to be able to set people up for success, and especially since you guys hold an entire course about the law, about the business, about everything. Hopefully, when these students come out, they'll be well-rounded. Obviously, they had great teachers like you and Kebra. And with that, they'll be able to, get a job in this industry, get a foothold in this industry. And I think we've all had students in the last, few years who we've actually seen go on to work in some facet of the cannabis industry.
I get to look at one all the time.
I definitely believe that these are classes that are going to be beneficial to these students. And even if you don't necessarily use it to get a job in the industry, it's always important to understand how your medicine is grown. Why is it that I'm paying more for indoor than maybe outdoor? All these different kinds of things. We want our students to be prepared to go out and work in the industry.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And we are expecting the industry to expand out here in Connecticut. It's going to have to, because the amount of patients we have is growing by numbers. Especially now, they just put in like 9 more conditions that are fairly good ones common.
Yep.
I saw that. It's great. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Patients need access.
Exactly.
So now, what's going on in Massachusetts up there? Now, I understand your guys are working hard to try and get these new regulations implemented, but as usual, there's some hurdles now. I hear there's some pay-to-play issues going on up there with companies trying to skirt around the applications and try to buy their way in or something like that.
So I haven't heard about anything like that. I know that what's new on the horizon, or what's new on the forefront, is that MCR Labs was recently just given a provisional license to be, and there's also another testing lab, but I can't remember their name. But I know that MCR is definitely one of the labs that's going to be able to test for the recreational cannabis. And something else we have going on at the exact same time is our medical marijuana program. The overseers of that program is the Department of Public Health. And as of January 1st, they will no longer be in charge of the medical marijuana program. It will be absorbed in the Cannabis Control Commission. And those two programs run parallel. So we're I think everybody's almost at a standstill waiting to figure out what's going to happen with our medical program once it becomes part of the CCC, and how are they going to roll it out and implement it. And then I think there's something in the medical laws that I was reading that they can give up to or transfer 45% of their cannabis to the recreational market. So they're trying to figure out, how do I have a brick and mortar business that can house both recreational and medical patients in the same place. So It's going to be Massachusetts. It seems to take 3 years to get these things done. Our medical program, we got our medical program in 2012. We didn't get the first dispensary. The doors didn't open on the first dispensary till 2015. We voted in recreational use 2016. So my guess would be 2019 before the doors are going to open anywhere. I'd love to see it done sooner, but I'm just, if history tells us anything.
Yeah, I think we've all learned from this point that government takes their time doing anything. And actually with cannabis, the longer they stall it, they feel like the better, even though they don't even see the money they're losing by stalling it. But yeah, it just seems that way. Connecticut actually got their program set up before Mass did, and we passed them both at the same time. So, but the thing is, the program we have is very small and nothing compared to what you guys got. So.
Well, it's interesting because every state is allowed to, but you can do realistically, you can do whatever you want. There's no hierarchy. There's no real, in certain ways, there's no federal oversight for how every state uniquely gets to run their program. So it's so interesting that some states are have a lot more conducive laws for the cultivators and the patients, like Maine, for example. And then you have places like Connecticut where they can't even grow for themselves. It's astounding because you can realistically have the exact same rules that are conducive, but this state chooses to go far more stringent.
Right, and there's reasons for that, and we've gone over them a million times on this show. And,
I know it.
And it comes to money again. It comes to money, and that seems to be Connecticut's major concern here is keeping the rich happy and not worrying about the regular citizens. But that's a discussion for another day.
I think it's money and the potential transfer of power.
Right.
I think that's. I mean, yes, of course, there's money is
and they go hand in
primary.
hand.
Yeah, but it's about the power. They don't want the power to be in anybody else's hands.
But there's
another problem we're having in Massachusetts is every town is allowed to. The zoning boards can vote to ban it or not, to outright ban recreational shops, micro businesses, manufacturing businesses. They could even, ban the research and the science if they wanted to. So, in my town, Barnstable, they actually just last week, they pulled some shady business. What happened was all the activists went. We've been advocating for months how we wanted micro businesses, manufacturing licenses, as well as retail dispensaries for a $1.8 million industry that could come to Barnstable County, and they would see the tax revenue from it from the recreational shop. So, it would be giving back, it would be entrepreneurship, et cetera, et cetera. It was all positive points. They took a vote. One woman passed. She said pass on her vote. And then we had actually the vote had passed. So we had gotten the micro businesses, we had gotten the recreational shops, we had gotten the manufacturing. All of the activists left. We left the building because it was 10 o'clock at night. And then we were downstairs talking to each other, and two people came downstairs who were there for a completely different reason. And they're like, hey, you guys might want to get back up there. They're taking a vote. So we all ran back upstairs just in time to hear them, talk back and forth with each other a little bit, debate, redo the vote, and we lost.
So what happened? The woman who passed decided to vote? The
woman who passed said, actually, I want to do a recount. I want to do a recount of it because I passed, which is something she can completely do. And they did the recount, and when they did the recount, we lost, and then that's how they adjourned the meeting. So that's where it stands at the moment. So it's just something that's very eye-opening, especially being in such a small town where they had voted for us, and then the minute all the activists left the room, that's when they decided to, hey, let's call this recount. And if the woman hadn't come downstairs to let us know, we all would have went home, fallen asleep, and woken up in the morning thinking everything was fine until we had figured out from each other it was not. So it was,
now what happened
it was a saving
at the end
grace
of that
that those
meeting?
people came out and told us.
Was there outrage?
It was just not outrage, it was just disappointment. It's just, it's disheartening, but it's disheartening, but it's not discouraging. It just means that we need to work at it, and it's just, we live in a footloose town. It's propaganda, it's fear, it's what about the children. So it's really, now we have to work to dispel those misnomers, which we've continued to do, and then figure out, which people voted against it, and then get them the education they need, because the people that, you're already talking to the converted at some points when they're like, yes, I agree that we should recreational, yes, I agree that it should be tax regulated. You can't preach to the choir. And then those other people that need the education, we just have to figure out what's a more palatable way to bring it to what angle is it that they need to maybe see this from, to shed some light on some misinformation.
Is your zoning board elected or appointed?
They are elected, I believe. So that's something else that we got to think about. So right now we're working on getting an amendment in, because they passed it. And I actually had called, I called the counselor for my district, and I was like, hey, I just want to know what happened last night and why you voted to ban everything. And she was like, well, let me start by saying not everything got banned. We allowed for, research. And I was like, research and lab testing. And I was like,
how many labs are up there, huh?
You know what I mean, semantics queen, you know what I mean. But she was like, no, if it's something that you're really passionate about or something that you really want to do, she said, go reach out to the people that voted for it, have them, back you on an amendment, they have to put forth the amendment, and then that starts the process. So, even though she wasn't for it necessarily, she still offered me the resources, tools to go out and, seek how to make change if I really wanted to. And that's what we have to do in Mass, and that's what we have to do in Connecticut. The more people we teach, and I know you guys have noticed this, that your students go on to be the people that are shoulder to shoulder with you when you go to the state house, when you go to the city council meetings, when you go to the zoning meetings. It's your students become your peers and your colleagues, because now you're all on the same level of education and you're all empowered with that education. So it's creating a united front.
Yeah, that's what it is. It really is creating it. And we got our work cut out for us down here, and just like you guys did, though. I mean, and, it took a strength in numbers to get as far as you have. And
I'll say that from that antidote, we have a lesson, because we do have friends that are taking the time to become representatives in their areas. So make sure you're to the people out there that can hear us. If you want some type of change, and it's something as not small, but if you can get on a community board, on a zoning board, on a planning board, or something for your local town or community,
right,
that could go a long way.
If you're so inclined, right, it's very important that some of us actually start taking those leadership roles. I know it's hard in the cannabis industry, but yeah,
I'll give a little shout out. I was driving down the road and I saw a sign for Colin
Sowney, right?
That's right, for the Green Party. So that's a local pro-cannabis person. And if you are pro-cannabis representative or looking to be voted in, call in.
Yeah, we're going to be putting on some more political guests, I think. I actually did get a request, and this is last night, for Ned Lamont.
Oh.
So
what do you
I'm
think
actually
about
supposed
that
to hear from them today and set that up. So if you guys are down for it, I'll try and get Ned Lamont. And then what I'll try and do is give Bob Stefanowski equal time and see if he accepts.
That's very fair.
So anyway, yeah. So Ellen, thank you for giving us a call. I want to remind the people that you're going to be here this Saturday.
Yes.
At 10 a.m. And you're going to be teaching commercial cultivation. You're going to bring down all your knowledge from Cincinnati seminars. And the people can contact me at info@ctcanconsulting.com.
Contact me any way you want to.
And Kebra at Cannabis.
Kebra, I love you, Kebra.
And even Ellen, I know you put an event up at Cincinnati seminars, and people should check out what else you got going on.
Oh yeah, because you have a lot.
You're all
going
over
on.
the country.
So
you're awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be here in New Haven from 10 to 2 on Saturday. You call me at area code 203-903-1169. You get a special rate if you mention Cannabis Corner. I'll give you a special rate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And people don't know what a like opportunity this is to learn from you. You've been trailblazing, you've been working in this industry, you've been growing, you've been teaching. So it's really an honor to have you teach our classes, and I really hope that our listeners take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, and how can they get a hold of you, Ellen, if they're up in Mass, or if they want to take one of your Cincinnati seminars or see where you're going to be? How do they get a hold of you?
Oh, they CincinnatiSeminars.com.
CincinnatiSeminars.com.
And our Instagram. And
oh wait, your phone is going out a little bit. Say it again. Start from the beginning again.
Sesame Seminars, our website is always up to date, as well as our social media, Facebook and Instagram. I'm the person who runs the social media, so if you reach out, I'll be the one who replies. And then, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited to work with Canna Health CT, and I love what you guys are doing, putting on that program. It's going to go, you guys are making it happen in the state of Connecticut.
Well, appreciate it.
We appreciate
you coming down and helping us out.
Anytime. I'll be the one with bells on and a weed plant.
All right, Ellen. Thanks so much.
Oh, we have some
comments.
Thank
you, Kebra. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Ellen.
Bye-bye.
We have some nice comments. Bye-bye.
We have nice comments. What are people saying? Anything good?
We got Ashley on there. We have Ashley goes taxation without representation. The people represent. What else we got? Who else we got there? Monique.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Oh, way to go, Monique. It's good. Lady Lots. Hey. Ellen Brown was on there. Brandy. Christina Mason and Brian. Brian, thank you so much as always.
Big shout out.
Brian comes through.
Yeah.
100%. He was on a couple panels this weekend.
Yeah.
Really big in our community here. And
Brian's great. Yeah. And he's
really
going to be
nice.
teaching one of the classes, so we'll have him on right before his class. We'll chat with him. He's going to be doing the dispensary class, so we'll be talking about that. Brian's great. I know he represented Normal on Sunday. I missed Brian and Kebra. We've kind of crossed paths. But I will say the same thing that Kebra said, that the thing up in Springfield, had it been on a different day or a different weekend, really would have been a really nice conference. I got to meet Keith Stroop, the founder of Normal, and chatted with him and thanked him for starting it, the whole deal. He gave me his business card, told me to talk to him about some
Mhm.
ideas that maybe we can get going for Connecticut and fundraising and stuff like that. So that was good. It was
So-
great to meet the founder of the organization that I'm
That you're
affiliated
representing
with.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
awesome.
I
And
was
Kebra
like,
too,
I'm the
yeah.
deputy director
Yeah.
in Connecticut. He was like, really?
Yes.
So we had a lot of normal there. It was good, and we were right across from them, so it showed a presence.
This event is a national event as well, so that goes on throughout the rest of the country, and this is
Yeah.
their first entrance into this demographic, into this
Right.
area, which is awesome because next year's show is going to be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. They had the-
What else can you really say? And it also shows that large scale companies and corporations are embracing the cannabis culture
Yes.
here on the East Coast, because to have that much notoriety here at the MGM Graham that just opened, it's such a large facility. It's already cannabis friendly on the West Coast, so they were able to bring that culture right over into Massachusetts. You know, Mohegan Sun and Foxwood is only going to have to follow
Well, they
suit.
will. They are.
You know.
And
Well, you know, Foxwood still has a
Mohegan is.
Mohegan is definitely, we know that, but we talk to the Foxwood people, and it's a tribal thing.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah,
a tribe,
Mohegan's
they're
more
not
open
doing
to
it. Oakdale's open.
Yeah. But one
But-
thing about go ahead, Kebra. You first.
I was just gonna say, a friend of mine, well, a woman I met through first met her at our cannabis conference that we had in New Haven, and she's kind of been following things, and she just became a member of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. And so anyway, one of the things I said was, if the people who had won, I would give a few people passes to that cannabis show. So she ended up coming with me to CBC and that cannabis show, and then the Boston Freedom Rally.
Nice.
And she just her interest was sparked even more. She learned a lot. She got to so if this is something that you're interested in, come hang with us at one
Come
of
over
these
to
events.
Canada Hill.
I mean,
Come to Canada.
honestly, at
Hang out.
these conferences, these expos, like we're you'll
You're
come
treated
around,
like
you're treated
royalty
like
there,
VIP.
You want to come hang with? You want to
Yeah.
We
hang
do.
with
We got
us?
You
all
wanna hang with
VIP
the G.
access. We always do. That's true.
There's always a booth.
There's
for
only
you,
a few
know?
from Connecticut, so
Right.
they treat us nice.
Yeah, they do
we're,
treat
we're,
us really
we're
nice.
downhearted down here.
Yeah.
Right. So come get the full
Those
experience,
poor
and,
Connecticut
and then you
full
can help
experience.
us with our fight here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got. You know who else was there? The Super Troopers guy.
Oh, yeah.
he was funny as
He
hell.
was?
Oh yeah, he
One
did a
of
whole
the cool
speech.
things, Eric Martin,
Mm-hmm.
the party that you guys went to was hosted by a parent organization as well with him. I think it was what are they, Mass Growers Council or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
And where we stayed for the weekend, because you can do Airbnb and things like that, rent out locations. He threw the football party the week before at that
location.
At that location, and he had this whole big football. We're sitting there talking with the host. She has all these really cool things. That was, we had the football party here, and so Ellen is awesome. That's the older lady. Yeah. She had us there. Eric. The whole
He
thing-
said that he taught her football.
Yes. Yes.
Shout out to Eric.
And Jim
Martin.
McMahon was there too, the
Yes.
football player. I got to meet him, talk
Oh,
to
nice.
him with Dr. Uma.
Nice.
They did a speech together.
And
That was very
Dr.
nice.
Uma was there doing super awesome everywhere.
Yep.
Somebody actually got hurt at the
And she helped.
and she did. She
Yep.
ran right up and took care
And her
of the
brother
guy.
apparently is running for
That he
senator
is.
against Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
You know what his
Against
campaign is?
Elizabeth
Oh,
Warren.
He's-
It's
his
a
thing
rough
is,
campaign.
what did it say? Let a real Indian beat
yeah,
the fake
one.
Indian. I couldn't
Oh.
believe it because he's of Indian
Yeah.
descent. A real
And
Who's
Indian.
the
No,
fake
India.
Indian?
The
Elizabeth Warren.
She's a fake Indian?
Yeah, they say she is. Donald Trump, didn't he call her a
Yeah.
fake Indian?
Oh, geez.
She's claiming Native American heritage, but there's people who've disputed
And
it.
he was
I
out
don't
there
know
heavy.
anything about it. I have no clue.
Yep.
I haven't checked her ancestry.com, but
No.
whatever.
It is what
Wow.
it is ultimately.
So he's running as an independent. I thought that was
Against
just funny as
Elizabeth
heck.
Warren.
Let a
He was
real
out
Indian defeat the fake Indian.
ton of support for him out on the Freedom Rally.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of
Yeah, he
support.
supports cannabis. He
Yep.
put a
Mhm.
cannabis leaf right on
Yep.
his little thing, so he's pro
Nice.
cannabis, and
Nice.
he does have Dr. Uma as his sister. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know he's married to Fran Drescher.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Ah.
and he was
Still?
big in inventing email.
Oh.
Yes. Very intelligent.
Very big in the
intelligent
beginning
other
of
than anything
email.
else,
People
yes.
don't know that. This guy's very, very intelligent
Yes.
and done a lot of good things for society already.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he's looking to give back to the community
of
that,
Mass,
that
yeah.
of Massachusetts
Oh, wow.
that he loves and that
Yeah.
his entire family loves, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder
there's
if Fran is gonna move to Massachusetts.
there
Dr.
is a
Rumor
little
has been
story
doing a
about
lot-
Fran I could
yeah.
tell.
Dr.
And the
Rumor has been doing a
NIC,
lot
but-
of she does a lot of positive work for cancer,
Yeah.
mostly because of that, I believe. I've heard some great
Yeah.
stories. So
Well, Fran Drescher, and I guess I can say
Oh,
this,
man. we about
came
get
to the NIC opening party.
Yeah.
Or it was a Christmas party, actually, the first year.
Uh-huh.
She did her first dab.
Ah.
So anyway.
Nice.
So-
First dab.
Yeah,
We did
so
a
you
lot
know
of
you get
dabs
to
this
do
weekend.
these fun things when you
We did a lot
do
of dabs
dabs
this
with Fran
weekend.
Yeah.
Drescher.
Listen, by 5, no, it must have been. We had our panel was at 8, so I think by like 5:30, 6 o'clock, I was done off. I
Oh,
was like, I
yeah.
just need to
Oh.
go sit in the car in the air because it was hot as the dickens
was
out
It
hot,
there.
was
yeah.
hot. It was very hot.
I came like with a
We-
button down,
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
it was
I'm-
gonna be cool and
Came
fall
over
like.
with a new T-shirt. I was like,
Think I didn't change into
Yeah.
hot as the
we had a
dickens.
great time. This was one of those revitalizing weekends
Yes,
in the
it was.
cannabis
It
world.
was.
Yeah. And I thought it was very much more crowded than last year.
Oh, was it busy, brother? It
More
was
booths.
packed.
They
There
extended
was
it.
a ton of booths. We had a nice space, and there was a lot of great people around us. Once again, another
I really-
non-violent
Yeah,
gathering.
yeah, no
Yeah.
problems.
No
Only people
issues, no
passing out. I did see a
problems.
couple people pass out and stuff.
I
but
don't
hey.
know. It was
That could be
hot.
from
It was-
heat,
but yeah.
booze. They were still drinking.
And then
Yeah.
and people have to know that when you're medicating
And
and
it's hot.
consuming cannabis,
Yeah.
you should be hydrating.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that the two go hand in hand. I love you too, cuz I see you over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was such a great weekend. I
It was a
decided to
great
shoot my
weekend.
shot with a guy I like.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Oh, you thought that might be the lucky weekend, right?
This is such a lucky
It's gonna be a
weekend.
lucky
I
weekend.
should put something in the. I want
You
to go
put something in the
gamble
air.
at the
Springfield,
casino.
yeah.
I didn't do
buddy of
that,
mine won.
but I did shoot my.
I didn't even
A
step
buddy
foot
of
in that
mine won while he
casino.
was out there.
Oh,
yeah,
for real?
yeah. Peter Bernard, a good guy.
Yeah, I saw Peter.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he told me he was up till 3 in the morning. He
Yeah.
said he barely got any sleep.
Yeah, he had a nice little run, so his weekend
Yeah,
was even
good,
better on
good.
that.
Yeah.
but-
He
Oh,
was very
well.
disappointed he couldn't come to the Freedom Rally. He says,
Yeah.
I committed to this.
Oh,
I
he
had it."
texted me. He was like, "Brother, he's another brother."
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We do the things. So it's awesome because Eric, Peter, and this goes for what Kebra just said.
About
Come
shooting
out
my
and-
shot.
Nah,
No.
nah.
No.
Well, we can probably get some new candidates for her to shoot shots at. Come out and hang out with us.
Oh yeah,
It may
just
not
see what.
seem,
Yeah.
It may not seem like a huge deal, or you might make it a bigger deal in your head, but we love interacting. That's who
Mhm.
we are. We're just social butterflies, and
Yeah.
if we could,
Especially when we go to Mass, how nice
Oh,
it is
yeah.
to see Connecticut people who
and they
take the
treat
trip.
us, yeah.
I saw quite a few in Springfield. Do you know there was a guy who had a booth there? And he was selling old stuff from the 70s. You probably saw him up there, Kebra.
No.
Oh, he had a head shop in the 70s, and he decided to sell all the. I used to go to his head shop in Milford, Connecticut. He was up in Springfield. I used to go to that head shop in the 70s, and I saw it was amazing the things you make. It's such a small world.
Yeah.
I would have
After
never
all.
thought that this guy who had a head shop in the 70s that I used to go to when I was a teenager, I saw him up at this event
Yeah.
selling stuff there. So it was very, very
Nice
cool.
way to get back out there. And
I
everything.
love to see Connecticut people. You know
Yeah,
what I
so do
mean?
I.
When we're in Mass or when we're out anywhere.
because
you know?
it's a small community, and as we continue to expand it, and that's why people should come out to these classes or the
Mhm.
meetings
Yeah.
or the support groups.
Our listeners, we'd love to meet you. You know.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime,
Yeah.
come up and tell us how much you like or hate the show. You know,
Yeah, you
whatever.
might
No.
hate it. It's all right.
No, nobody.
But we
hates
really
it.
do. We really want to meet you guys.
We
I
need
know.
a new theme song.
We're-
So if you're out there,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
need some
time
more
to
music.
rotate us
And you know
off.
what else we need? I'm going to put it out there again. It's sponsors.
yes,
And I do have a sponsorship package. If people are interested, we are negotiable.
yeah,
We know that a lot of people in the industry don't have a ton of money, but we'd love to help you out, promote your business. There's a lot of perks that come with it, along with
I'm
New
looking
Haven
at
Independent.
Leafly, Weed Maps,
Yeah,
High
you
Oh,
know,
I met the
Erica
guy
is
from
back with
Leafly.
Weed Maps
Yeah.
too, so that's good. I am
Yeah.
going to talk to her. I already did. She had left for a little while, but yeah, people know you get coverage on New Haven Independent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're over the regular airwaves. Also, tune in radio. Your stuff is, it's all on SoundCloud. Plus, the website itself will give you a little spot too. So, anybody who's interested, please email us or contact us through Facebook. we would love to have sponsors. We want to get more people involved and get this community a
and
little
it
bit
helps
bigger.
keeps us going.
Yeah.
It helps us here every week. It helps. It takes
Harry.
care of Harry the Brave over
Yeah,
there.
we got to get
love
Harry a
him.
raise.
We got it. Well,
Yeah.
he
We
gotta
want to
get paid
contribute
first.
here. We
We
want to
gotta hook
contribute
him
to
up.
this station because we believe in what they're doing.
That's right.
We really do.
It's a
And they've
great
given us an
community.
opportunity. And we would like to give back. And we need
like
help
our
from your
soapbox.
listeners. Yeah. And
we like standing on our little soapbox on the corner yelling some things. So please help out.
so I see we're almost at our time. I wanted to just two things real quick. The normal meeting
Yes.
is this Wednesday at the Rough Draft at 7:00 in Hamden. This is one way to get involved. You can come down and meet Kebra and I. Talk to us about getting
I'll be
involved
there
in the
Wednesday.
industry. Lou will be
I'm
there.
just a general.
Did we do
attendance
like
type
a
of guy.
press release about the changes to
No,
normal?
because this was new to me when I saw your face up there
Oh
on
my
that live
gosh.
No, we
stream.
should.
That-
Let's talk about that at the
yeah.
I was
meeting.
like,
Yeah.
oh shit, look at my people.
Oh, and then there's also this Saturday the class.
Classes.
Yes.
And please, you could walk in, come down at 178 Temple Street, 10:00 on Saturday. Come on down. We'll have some refreshments. Come to the class. It's 4 hours.
Mhm.
You call me. You leave a Facebook message. Mention the show. I'll give you a special rate. And it would be just a good thing to hang out
It's
on a
super
Saturday.
awesome. It's knowledgeable. This is the
And
commercial cultivation course.
Yeah.
This is a great class. If
Yeah.
any class you were going to take,
Mhm.
this is the one because we have
Yeah.
a special instructor coming down. Ellen is so knowledgeable. You've heard her.
Yeah.
We've only sung her praises more than we really could.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah,
have her
she
come
can help.
down.
I mean, she was one of my first
yeah,
teachers.
to
Like,
have her
that's-
come down really is a big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I know I worked with her at the school too, and she was one of the best teachers that we had there.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Lou. Oh, and then Canna Health, we're open all week. Tuesdays,
Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Mhm.
Yep, 10 to 2 Saturday, 2 to 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Yep,
correct? Come down.
178 Temple. We accept walk-ins.
Yep, and
Hey,
you get
Lou Pino.
Yeah.
MMJ discounts and all kind. You talk to Kebra, she'll hook
Yep.
you up.
Come on through.
Yep, and especially if you got one of those new conditions.
Yep. Go CannaHealth.com.
Yeah.
Stay happy, healthy, and high,
Guys, we'll see you all next week. Please contact us. Bye-bye.
Growing said he got sour, need that whole yard. I'm chasing turkey bag, you chasing gold yard. Tell us down, we won't go far. Blue sherbet stuff the whole jar. 100 P's on the Bay Bridge, stuck in traffic. If I ever run into Riri, let's make magic. Die doing something you love, it ain't tragic. Heard what I said, no, it ain't tragic. From the home of lay down, smoking ratchets. Never win when you spell it backwards. I got green in the bay, my whole team Packers. Hold the plug, I need 100 P's. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 P's. Now my shoebox got 100 G. Told the plug I need 100 P's. Now my shoebox got 100 G.